that to get rid of that. Nice and cloudy out, which means I get to have the good lighting in the apartment. Excellent. All right, let me get, I was just getting TikTok set up, and then we are good to go. 1 sec here. Come on. Don't freeze on me, TikTok. All right. Hold on. Here we go. All right. All right. Yeah. I can try that. All right. All right. Let me get TikTok going here. Go live on TikTok. There we go. All right. 1 sec here. Mirror your video. All right. TikTok is good. A little more light. Maybe. There we go. Hello, everybody. How are we doing this evening? See, I got started on relatively on time. Not so bad. Oops. Trying to not show the mirror again. I am back on TikTok. Yes. Still a little confusing. Whatever. But it's back, so I'm not going to complain. Hey, TikTokers. We're back. Hello. Hey, everybody. I am back. Yeah. Ooh, la, 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 la. Welcome, everybody. John Aravosis here. Coming to you live from Washington, D.C. Thoughts on Virginia? It's a nice state. You're talking about. Not yet, Jorge. So we're still working on it. Or maybe they did. It's not clear. We won't talk. Let's not talk about it. It's not clear what they did. To be honest, I still don't really know what they did. But in any case, not complaining. So welcome, everybody. John Aravosis here. Thank you, Mia. Here to talk about the latest in American news and also what's going on with the war in Ukraine, which is still America related. So yeah, happy Monday, October 13th. I'm going to yawn at you. Oh, my. Yes, exactly. If Obama announced a base in Qatar, what a disaster that would be. Yeah, Hegseth is getting, he's such a moron. He created my nose is itching today. Hegseth created a lot of controversy this weekend. Our wonderful defense secretary, the pretty boy at the Department of Defense, whose big experience in the military is working at Fox News, basically. I mean, certainly for being defense secretary, Trump picked him because he's pretty on TV. That's why Trump picked him for defense secretary. He looks the part. Trump has repeatedly done this. He picks people for jobs because they look the part. He does a very good job selling himself when I don't think he has many of the qualifications. Like, Trump's a very, very important, successful businessman who picks people based on fitting the part. Yeah, you don't hire people based on that. Well, they dress for the part. That's nice. That's nice. In any case, let's go with the news, guys. We'll get rolling, and then we hang out at the end of the show for the second half or the last quarter, depending how long this goes. Please keep the gifts coming. I very much appreciate your gifts. You can become part of our community that way. Even the heart gifts or whatever they are on TikTok are some kind of the fan club gifts. They confused me. Somebody tried to walk you through the fan club today. It still confused the hell out of me. But nonetheless, I appreciate it. So thank you for the hearts there. Anyway, let's get rolling. We've got Discord. We got TikTok. We got YouTube. Let's get rolling. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Maybe even subscribe, even though it's very confusing. The old subscription stuff is still up, but it's transitioning on TikTok. Remember that. Certainly don't object to YouTube. I get more from YouTube. So we don't object if you get a YouTube subscription instead, to be honest. But anyway, let's get moving. Trump today was in Israel. And Hamas did their prisoner exchange. The Israelis, Hamas was holding 20 Israeli hostages alive, a couple dozen bodies that Hamas was holding on to as leverage. Kind of gross. Don't know if all of them have been released yet, but the hostages were released. Israel released. I always sort of find this odd. For some reason, the negotiation with Israel is always that Israel has to release several thousand Palestinians in exchange for like a couple dozen Israelis. And it just always struck me as odd, but they did it again. I mean, it's what the Palestinians are demanding, but Israel really got 20 hostages. Hamas got 1,968 Palestinian prisoners released. It's like, okay. This is still kind of a mess, I think. Trump did what Trump always does as a very bad human being and one of really the worst president we've ever had. Trump went to the Israeli Knesset, the parliament, and gave a speech today because Trump, of course, Trump had to make it about him. Well, Trump talked about how great he was. Did I get the... Yes. Today, together, we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. Because he has to say, like, he did. No one thought it could be done, but he did it. Because he's very insecure about these things. What was impossible? At long last, we have peace in the Middle East. He's out of his mind. He's absolutely out of his mind. At long last, we have peace in the middle. First of all, the war has been going on for 2 years. I mean, this particular battle. So it's not at long last. This battle's been going on for 2 years. So this is not oh my God, it's been going on forever. It's been going on for 2 years, not forever. That's the first thing. Second of all, at long last, we have peace in the Middle East. No, we don't. We don't. This, first of all, is a ceasefire. None of the other stuff was agreed to yet. Hamas is not leaving. Hamas still has weapons. We don't know who's going to govern Gaza because so far it's still Hamas. We have a ceasefire right now. We have a ceasefire. Ceasefire is a good thing. We had it before, by the way, with Hamas. If Hamas broke it, but this is a ceasefire. This is not at long last. Thank you, Fudge, for subscribing over on YouTube. This is not all of a sudden we have peace in the Middle East, right? It's literally a ceasefire. It literally is a ceasefire. I love Mike. Mike goes, "You are wrong." Okay, Mike, tell me why I'm wrong. Hamas did disarm? No. Hamas did give up governing Gaza? No. So what part am I wrong about the fact that they've got a ceasefire and exchanged hostages? By the way, thank you for the gift there. That was very nice of you. That was a very generous gift. Carmelina. I think was that Carmelina's? That might have been Carmelina's. I hate that when it does that to me. It hides who sent me the good gift. I think that was Carmelina. Actually, Heather did too. No, who just sent me the cute little, the cute little red gift? So I'm trying to thank you guys, but TikTok sometimes makes it hard. So thank you for that. Yeah. So Hamas has not agreed. First of all, Hamas has not agreed to disarm. Oh, Annie. Thank you, Annie. Hamas has not agreed to disarm. Okay. It's not even how do you monitor them disarming. They haven't agreed yet. Hamas is still in charge in Gaza. Hamas still has their weapons. They're still a terrorist group. From Israel's perspective, that is not done yet. Now, again, ceasefire, big deal. The hostages being released by Hamas, huge deal. That's great. I mean, huge deal. This is all very good. But I am not a fan of liars, pathological liars or anything else. Donald Trump lies all the time. He is telling you and telling the world that the war is over, that we now have peace in the Middle East. We don't have peace in the Middle East. We don't. If you think Israel is never going to be bombing anybody else in the Middle East, or nobody in the Middle East is going to be blowing up Israelis, I've got Trump steak and Trump wine to sell you. That's nuts to think that. We do not have peace in the Middle East. We have a ceasefire that is very good, a very important ceasefire we have, and that's great. Thank you for the October gift there, Andy. But he's lying. So let's see. But again, for Israel's. By the way, this isn't me saying this. Israel made this clear. Israel made clear that if Hamas stays in power, this isn't really done. If you think Israel's going to sit back after what Hamas did on October 7th and Hamas is going to stay in power, good luck with that. Anyway, thank you, Fallen. So let's see. The move over to the U.S. Portland. So as you know, Trump and Stephen Miller and the rest of them are trying to convince everybody that, oh my God, America is overrun with terrorists. It's terrible. It's so scary. They're in Portland. They're in Chicago. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Well, I have to show you a video of the terrorists in Portland over the last couple days, over the weekend. It is the funniest damn thing you've ever seen. So what they've started to do in Portland, the protesters growing. First of all, congratulations, Trump. That the bean thing again. Thank you for that. Who was that? That was that Carrie. I think it was Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. The protesters in Portland more and more of them are turning out, which is good, I think. They're all peaceful. I mean, again, literally, Stephen Miller, every day, all day long, night and day, there's violence against ICE. It's terrorism. Actually, what's happening is all day long, every day, day and night, people dressed as frogs and dinosaurs are dancing outside the ICE facility. Quite literally, they're dancing and they're doing cosplay and they're wearing costumes and dancing. It is the funniest damn thing you've ever seen. It is actually a brilliant response since we are dealing with the Trump people trying to claim it's terrorism everywhere. This is actually a brilliant response. This was actually from somebody's TikTok account, Helium Leather. Hang on. Hold on. This is outside ICE at Portland. Okay. This is the terrorism. It's so scary. Look how mean they are to ICE. It's so war ravaged. The horror. Look at these guys. I mean, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's brilliant. And the thing is, and yesterday, oh my God, I can't even show you this one. Yesterday, guess what they did? They had the naked bike ride in Portland. San Francisco does this. I guess Portland does too. Chicago may do it, where people kind of get naked and buy and get on bikes and ride through the city. Well, they decided it was pouring, by the way. They did it anyway. Philly does too. I'm sure a number of cities do too, Seattle. And they rode by the ICE facility naked on their bikes. That was it. They were naked on their bikes. It was very funny. In the meantime, all the costume people were there. A huge number of people turned out. What is happening is, it looks to me like the ICE protests are growing in terms of across the country. They're growing in Portland. The funny part is they're getting nicer. They're getting friendlier. It's embarrassing to the ICE people. I think it's great because what Trump is hoping is for this to get violent. He wants it to get violent. He wants it to get violent so he can impose martial law. This is not violent. It's hard to say we must impose martial law because there's a man in a dinosaur suit and several frogs dancing to Louisiana jazz on a trumpet. We must stop them now. It does. It looks like Mardi Gras. Well, it looks like kind of Mardi Gras' little brother. But yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. So anyway, that's all great. Department of Homeland Security, where ICE is part of, Trump's people, posted a video attacking Governor Pritzker of Illinois this weekend. It's gross. What they're doing is something a fascist state would do, what a dictatorship would do. First of all, it's the bile and the anger coming out of the Trump people that always kind of amazes me. I mean, look at all the people, he himself, but look at the people surrounding him. How that woman who's the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, that guy who's the communications director, that's Stephen Chung, he's the worst. Trump's own son, Don Jr., perfect example, right? And go through all the Fox News people, go through Hegseth. There's this, go through Kash Patel, go through Kristi Noem, right? The FBI, the Department of Justice, the Homeland Security, Pam Bondi at the Senate last week, right? Laura Loomer. They're all so angry, but not angry as in, oh, they're justifiably angry. It's bile. It's venom. It's spitting mad. And it's another thing I wish Democrats would pick up on, because there's something very wrong with people who are, Corey Lewandowski, where they're just spitting mad, They did a video going after Pritzker. Thank you, Carrie, for that. Appreciate that. They did a video of, I do like the hat. Thank you, Louise. I love that hat. They did a video going after Pritzker, the Illinois governor, Democrat. And in the tweet showing the video, I'm not going to show you the video, of course, I'm not going to give them. In the tweet, I want you to listen. This is the official Twitter account of the Department of Homeland Security. Okay. Thank you, Carrie, of the Department of Homeland Security. This is their official Twitter account. Listen to what they wrote. Pro-crime politician Governor Pritzker has repeatedly lied about our brave men and women of federal law enforcement in defense of criminals. Pro-crime politician. First, it's like reading Pravda in the old days. It's George, pro-crime politician. It's like, what is this, right? Is this George Orwell here? Is this George Orwell? Is this even serious? I mean, are these people serious people? No. Is this the kind of people you elect to office? Really? No. These are the kind of people you want running your country who sound like teenage children who need a little therapy. It's fascist. Somebody just said over the top language. It's fascist. It's when you use this sort of over the top demonization you use the over the top demonization and violence in order to justify more violence. It's order to justify basically a police state. It's bad. I mean, it's just horrific. At the same time, along with that, Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Director, sent videos to all the airports because Homeland Security, TSA is our transportation security, basically the people at the airport that wand you and you go through the metal detector and they x-ray your bags. That's TSA. She sent a video out like for the TSA area for people to show. And the video is basically, honestly, when I saw the video, first of all, it's blaming Democrats for the government shutdown. It also is suggesting maybe you're not going to be safe. Because she goes, oh, we've had a lot of cutbacks and it's really hard, but don't worry, we're trying to keep you safe. It's like, yeah. It's suggesting you're not going to be safe in the airport, which I'm not sure I want to see in the airport. It also is a partisan attack ad. And again, showing in airports. Well, one airport already, Seattle, didn't show it because the airports didn't know they don't have to show it. I wish, boy, if I saw that in an airport, I would literally find out who the heck was running the airport and go over and go, excuse me. Now we're showing Republican ads. Are you planning on showing Democratic political ads when the election comes? But again, it's the immaturity of it. She's running ads blaming the Portland's not showing it good. Blaming Democrats for the shutdown. Hegseth is this was funny. Hegseth, our wonderful Hegseth. Oh, hey Annie. Are we goat? Are we doing our goat? I'm assuming. Let me know. Are we doing our goat? Halloween. One more time. Thank you, Annie. Certain TikTok gifs trigger certain events. That would be one of them. Hegseth, Hegseth, who's the defense secretary, who's very pretty. And that's how he got the job, because he was pretty on Fox News and Trump liked that. But he did he announces on Friday, we are building a Qatari military facility at our base in Idaho. I'm very proud. Of course, everybody knows why that facility is being built. They're the ones that gave Trump the new Air Force One for free that Trump is now going to keep. It's a $500 million airplane that Trump gets to keep when he leaves office. They're going to give it. First of all, they gave it to the U.S. government for free. Okay. For free. We're going to talk about that. Trump is spending $1 billion of your money and my money to turn it into Air Force One. And then after spending $1 billion of our money to turn it into Air Force One, he's going to donate it to himself when he leaves office. He's donating it to the Trump Library, and the Trump Library has said it's going to give it to Donald Trump for the rest of his life. So he just got a $500 million bribe, actually a $1.5 billion bribe, because it includes the American money, from the Qatari government. In exchange, they also gave him a bunch of golf courses worth millions of dollars. In exchange, what did the Qataris get? For our free plane? Oh, not that much. America simply committed to go to war for Qatar if it's ever attacked. We extended like our nuclear umbrella over them. Kind of a big freaking deal. They are now a country, and actually I'm kind of surprised no one's even reporting on this. It got reported on and then got ignored. we extending our nuclear umbrella, guys, basically. We announced that we are going to war if anybody touches Qatar. Most of you cannot pronounce Qatar. Nobody knows where it is. I mean, it's in the Middle East, but, nobody can find it on a map. It's this big. And we're going to go to war now because Trump got an airplane from them that he's going to keep. Yeah. So guess what else we're doing? According to Hegseth, we're going to we're building a Qatari Air Force facility on a U.S. military base in Idaho. Well, guess who wasn't happy with that? All of MAGA. I said on Friday that I did not think MAGA was going to be very happy about Muslim soldiers being on American bases, but not even this, giving them their own little base within our base, right? We're building a Qatari Air Force facility. And guess what happened? The MAGA people lost it. Because they can be Arab, Muslim military on our bases. I think that's great. I don't care. But the MAGA people, so MAGA went nuts. Laura Loomer, who's Trump's top advisor, we'll call her that. Top advisor. They're very close. Laura attacked it. Everybody freaked out. All the MAGA people freaked out. Hegseth had to come out and say, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. J.D. Vance, my favorite was J.D. Vance, because J.D. Vance, that's our vice president, has become just this caricature of himself. J.D. Vance, it's fake news. The media's like, well, it was your defense secretary who announced it on Friday. What do you mean it's fake news? Is it really fake news? I mean, of course, everything they say is fake news, but is it really fake news when it's your own defense secretary who announced it, Mr. Vance? Really? So J.D. Vance was like, it's not true. Well, it's true. They're giving him a portion of a U.S. military base. It's like, oh well. Oh well. Get ready, Idaho. You just got a lot more diverse. Congratulations. I think it's funny as hell. I think it's absolutely funny as hell. So, oh well, Idaho. What else we got? Trump yesterday. Trump yesterday came out with another lie about January 6th. So January 6th was the insurrection. Trump supporters, with Trump urging them, tried to violently overthrow our government, stop the election of Joe Biden. Joe Biden was already elected, but the certification is on January 6th. That's what they were trying to stop. Thank you, Garden Girl, for the cat's paws. I forgot we still have the cat's paws. That is a great, or maybe it's back. That's always been a cool one. And Trump, one of the conspiracy theories that Trump and his people have been putting out there, but it was debunked like 2 weeks ago by the FBI director, Kash Patel, Trump's FBI director, debunked it, and Trump is pushing it again. So the conspiracy is there were 274 FBI agents hidden in the crowd on January 6th, and they're the ones who did the insurrection. They're the ones who told the crowd, let's go. So like it was the First of all, Donald Trump's own FBI wanted to launch a coup against the Congress to overthrow the government in order to embarrass Donald Trump. I mean, it's like, okay, that doesn't quite make sense. Well, Kash Patel came out and said 2 weeks ago, it's not true. The FBI agents showed up after the insurrection because there was an insurrection. Oh, he didn't, of course. He called it a riot. Yeah, it was a riot, all right. But it was basically, he said, the FBI agents showed up after the riot began. In other words, they showed up for crowd control. Well, a couple problems here, as Morenita just said. First of all, Donald Trump claimed Joe Biden's FBI sent 274 agents to the insurrection. Joe Biden's FBI on January 6, 2021? Literally, it was Donald Trump sending the crowd, urging the crowd, and not calling them off because they were trying to overthrow the government to stop Biden from coming. It wasn't Joe Biden's FBI. It was Donald Trump's FBI. Now, why doesn't Donald Trump know when he was president? It's a little weird, but Trump doesn't seem to know when he was president. That's the first thing. Second of all, Kash Patel, Trump's own FBI director, said 2 weeks ago that the FBI agents were sent after the insurrection began, as he called it, the riot, to help crowd control. So why is Trump saying it? Okay, look, Trump's a pathological liar. I know there was a little bit of methyl. That is a little bit of ethyl bourbon. There's no riot like Trump's riot. This is what happens when I have iced tea before the show. I get a little more perky. I just had a glass of iced tea. I did. It's making me a little perkier. So Trump is lying. He's a pathological liar. He also, I think, isn't totally aware of what's going on. Thank you. Who's that? Sly? Was that Sly? I think it said Sly. Oh, S. Lynn. I'm calling you Sly. Thank you, S. Lynn, for the gifts. Trump also isn't totally aware of what's going on. The fact that he thinks Biden was president isn't just that he's lying. He's also, I think, not aware of what's going on. But he is happy to keep promoting conspiracy theories. I mean, that's what he does. Yeah, anyway, but I love that he said Joe Biden's FBI. Also what's going on is he's still trying to whitewash January 6th. Now, mind you, he already pardoned all the domestic terrorists who tried to overthrow our government on that day for him. So, at this point, big surprise, but he's still trying to whitewash it. He also demanded an investigation. There has to be an investigation of all these FBI agents. Sure, Donald. What else we got? Oh, JD Vance. Wonderful video this weekend. I don't think I've got it here. I should have grabbed this one too. George Stephanopoulos, American journalist, did a very good job. I think this is it. This is it. George did a very good job going after Vance because Vance basically, okay, Trump's border czar. I think he was former Homeland Security. Trump's border czar, Tom Homan. According to reports, gave $50,000, received $50,000 in cash. $50,000 in cash in a paper bag. Guess where this story is going, okay? Okay. A previously top Trump official, a couple months before Trump becomes president, receives $50,000 in cash in a paper bag. It was, I don't know what kava, what's kava? It was a kava bag. What does kava mean? Thank you, Sue. I didn't know what kava was. Kava, whatever kava is, right? Some kind of paper bag. Yes, well, it's not just according to reports, actually, because JD Vance didn't deny it yesterday. I said that this was the story. Allegedly receives $50,000 in cash in a paper bag. Allegedly, the Department of Justice has video and audio, or at least audio, because they recorded it. These are undercover FBI agents who did this. Okay. Okava's a T. Undercover FBI agents who did this. Okay. So reportedly, they've got a recording of him accepting the money. And he was accepting the money in exchange for promising to get them government contracts when Trump came into office, because he was going to be working for the administration. And he's working out of the White House as the border czar. Everyone starts asking, mind you, no one's quite denying the story. All the Trump people, Callum is still, why is my phone ringing? My phone should have been, let me see here. My phone should have already, it should be automatically, is it not? It is. Do not disturb, but somehow, maybe I've got you down as a Mediterranean restaurant. Oh, maybe that's what it was. The restaurant, in any case, whatever it was. The administration officials, some of them are saying, it's a lie. It's fake news. It never happened. And then they're saying, so you're saying the FBI is lying? Donald Trump's FBI is lying to the media, telling them that it did happen and they've got a recording? Well, JD Vance gets asked about it by George Stephanopoulos on ABC and keeps repeatedly asking him. And JD Vance doesn't deny the story. Stephanopoulos keeps saying, Mr. Vice President, did he return the money? He took $50,000. Did he return the money? And Vance keeps going. Basically, Vance kept saying, well, I'm sure he got $50,000 at some point in his life, George. I don't know. I'm not sure what story are you talking about? Right. Like he doesn't know. This story's been out there for a month now. Like he doesn't know what story George is talking about. He goes, I'm sure he's gotten $50,000 and he gets $50,000 and It's an exchange. It's an exchange for services. That's legal. Well, that's literally the definition of a bribe. It's not like, oh, you gave him $50,000 allegedly. You gave him $50,000 in cash in a paper bag because you wanted him to do something for you when he got into office with Trump. That makes it okay because it was for services. You gave him $50,000 in cash in a paper bag because you wanted him to do something for you, and that's why he took it. And that makes it okay, according to J.D. Vance, because it was for services. I mean, you're listening to this going, that's literally the definition of a bribe, right? If he literally wasn't going to do anything in exchange, then it would be a very weird gift, but it wouldn't be a bribe. If literally it was like, no, I'm going on vacation for the rest of my life, but I'll take $50,000, right? So anyway, this is J.D. Vance talking to Stephanopoulos. Oops, hang on.
Benefit much more from, let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
And then he cut him off. And they're all again, snowflakes. Oh my God. And then George Stephanopoulos didn't let J.D. Vance keep talking. Oh my God. It was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah. And actually, I watched the whole interview. It went on for a long time. Stephanopoulos kept saying, did he keep the money? Did he keep the $50,000? And Vance kept going, I don't know which 50,000. He goes, well, you don't know which, right? And he goes, well, I'm sure it was for services. The answer from J.D. Vance, he goes, did he keep the money? He didn't break any. First of all, by the way, Vance never said he didn't take any money. Even at the end, if you notice, Vance kept saying he didn't break any laws. And George goes, I didn't ask you if he broke any laws. I said, did he return the money? George, he didn't break any laws. So that's why at the end he goes, and you didn't deny it. J.D. Vance made clear that he believes Tom Homan took money, took $50,000 in cash. That is clear from the interview that that's what J.D. Vance believes. Because if he didn't, he would have said, he didn't take any money. What are you talking about? Right? Their argument isn't that he didn't take money because, again, there's reportedly a video or an audio out there of him taking the money. But again, think about this. We've got a guy working out of the White House, one of Trump's top people, his boarders are, who reportedly took a $50,000 bribe, according to the reports. And it's like, okay, no big deal. No big deal. La, la, la. Again, imagine had Biden done it. Imagine had Obama done it. Newsmax, this is kind of funny. So we talked before about how Pete Hegseth, I got to have like a Pete Hegseth something. I don't know what we do for Pete Hegseth. My hair already is slicked back. I'm not sure what to do for Pete Hegseth. What was the, oops. Actually, sorry, I'm looking at this. I want to do better than that. There we go. That's what we're doing. There we go. Pete Hegseth, who's the pretty boy from Fox News, who's defense secretary, he is requiring media at the Pentagon to sign like a loyalty oath or something to to Big Brother. And they're promising things like they can't write any stories that the Pentagon doesn't approve and this kind of crazy stuff. Well, New York Times, Washington Post, and others are saying no. And they're saying, and New York Times already said, we're not going to have any reporters at the Pentagon now because they said they're going to require this. We're not going to allow it. Newsmax just said they're not signing the loyalty oath. Newsmax is a piece of garbage, right-wing. Okay, calling Fox News right-wing is one thing. Fox News is a Republican Party mouthpiece. That's their job. That's literally their job. They're not a news outfit. Newsmax, I mean, oh my God. They are so far to the right of Fox News. It's not. Newsmax is, I mean, Fox News I don't even know how to compare the difference. Newsmax is like a bunch of MAGA activists, right? With cameras. Like, it's so far beyond Fox News. Newsmax is refusing to sign the little Marxist pledge for the Pentagon. They I don't know if I grabbed their statement. Did I grab their statement? I didn't grab their statement. Their statement was, we are joining the rest of the media in refusing to sign this, and we will continue to work with our media partners to stand up against this freedom of speech. It was like, Newsmax is accusing you of basically being Orwellian, 1984 Orwellian stuff. Shocking. I mean, because Newsmax is, like I said, it's Fox News is not news. Newsmax is so far beyond Fox News. No, it's very interesting. I'm actually not sure why Newsmax cares, because it's not like Newsmax is, Newsmax works for Trump, basically. Why would they want to get news stories that Trump doesn't know about, right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. CNN is one of the best news outlets in the world, if not the best, I would argue, in terms of their breadth and their reach. They're actually a real news outlet, unlike Fox News that literally works for the Republican Party. CNN, though, I understand why some people get confused, because you see, CNN reports the truth about people, whether it's Joe Biden or Donald Trump. And among some people, they get very confused when they hear media actually report the truth, because they're used to the media working for them and working for their party, and not, for example, right, Fox News. How many times does Fox News do bad stories about Donald? I've always said somebody should tally this up. Somebody must have tallied it. How many bad stories does Fox News do about Donald Trump on a given day? How many bad stories do they do about Joe Biden? Right? Now, CNN, how many bad stories do they do about Donald Trump? A lot. How many do they do about Joe Biden? Oh my God. CNN basically forced Joe Biden out of the presidency. CNN single-handedly practically forced, and the New York Times helped. CNN and the New York Times basically forced Joe Biden to step down from the election, right? So tell me the last time Fox News forced a Republican president to step down, and we'll talk. There's literally no comparison, but people don't like CNN and New York Times because they actually criticize everybody. And among some political parties and some people, they're not used to hearing media that actually tells the truth. They think media is basically lying to you and only telling you what you want to hear, right? And if you hear what you don't want to hear, oh my God, it's not media anymore. So of course you don't like CNN. I understand that, because they tell the truth a lot, and that's got to be very painful. What else we got here? Epstein. Oh yeah. Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. This shit, I want to find. Now I'm upset because I can't find where this damn quote was from. Let me see here. 1 second here. I saw a clip. I hate when people do this. Somebody shared like a piece from a news story, but I hate when people do this. Here we go. The Wall Street Journal. Okay, thank you. People will grab pictures of news stories and share the picture and not tell you the source, which drives me crazy. So they grabbed a story from the Wall Street Journal, but they didn't say it was Wall Street Journal. And I wanted you to know which it was. So listen to this from the Wall Street Journal about Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell is Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, who got him all the underage girls and is in prison for 20 years, who Donald Trump basically got a lot of favors for. She met with Trump's people, and suddenly she went from a high security prison to a low security prison. Suddenly she gets to leave the prison for to meet her clients and stuff. I don't know why she has clients, to meet her clients and stuff. She suddenly is getting all sorts of favoritism. This woman who literally, and I can't even use the word to call her because I think TikTok won't like it. Again, she, predator, right, is the word we use here. Convicted predator. Children. I mean, this is like horrific here. Okay, listen to this though. A weekend in mid-August, hundreds of inmates at a minimum security prison in Bryan, Texas, were locked down during their usual time for strolling the grassy campus and visiting with families and friends. So they were all locked down. They couldn't meet their families. All except one prisoner, Ghislaine Maxwell. the 63-year-old associate of Jeffrey Epstein, convicted for her role in helping him sexually abuse underage teens. While her fellow inmates were confined to their dormitories after breakfast, Maxwell met with several visitors in the federal prison camp's chapel, according to people familiar with the matter. All the other prisoners were locked down. She got to go and have a meeting and all sorts of stuff. Less than 3 weeks earlier, the Justice Department had moved Maxwell to federal prison Camp Bryan from a higher security facility in Tallahassee, Florida. Under Federal Bureau of Prisons rules, prisoners with sex crime convictions like Maxwell's don't ordinarily qualify to serve their time in such, the nicer camps. The transfer followed an interview with senior Justice Department official Todd Blanche, Trump Justice Department official, during which Maxwell said she had never seen President Trump during his long association with Epstein doing anything inappropriate or illegal. And in response, she got moved to the nice prison. And now, when they have lockdowns and stuff, everybody's locked down except her, because she's a nice child predator, not like the bad ones, I guess. It's sick. But you need to hear this stuff. This stuff is important. Ukraine. Trump says he plans to tell Putin that, here's my favorite. Listen to this. Trump's going to talk to Putin. Trump is being decisive. Listen to how decisive Trump is. Trump says he plans to tell Putin that if the war isn't settled, he may send Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine. How's that for a threat? He's going to tell Putin, if Putin doesn't settle the war, if he doesn't reach a peace agreement, Trump may send cruise missiles to Ukraine. Not he will. He may. That's not a threat. It's not a threat to tell somebody, if you don't do that, I may punish you, but I may not. It's like, okay, all right. Trump has been talking about maybe sending Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine. Maybe not. We don't know. But I thought there's a couple of interesting things here. 50% of Russians in a recent TV poll favor strikes against NATO countries if NATO gives Ukraine the Tomahawk weapons. I think this is actually very interesting. To me, that's only 50% of Russians favor Russia basically going to war, like hitting NATO, if NATO gives Ukraine the weapons, because the Russians keep threatening war, crazy. Only 50% of the Russians are on board with going to war with NATO. That's pretty good, actually, because that means half the country's going, I don't like this, right? All right, more. Ohesavrula, Yasu. Listen to this. Medvedev. So with that in mind, Dmitry Medvedev threatened nuclear war again because it's what he does. Medvedev is the former president of Russia, prime minister, I should say. He used to be a liberal 25 years ago. Now he's a lunatic. He drinks and stuff, so he's rumored to have a problem there. Listen to this from Medvedev. Former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev he was a former president, said on Monday that supplying U.S. Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine could end badly for everyone, especially Donald Trump. I love this. Medvedev already has caused problems because he always goes after Trump personally. And, Trump, like, you don't threaten Trump. He's called Trump a liar. He says Trump makes threats and doesn't follow through on them. I mean, all the wrong stuff to tell Trump if you're trying to get him to back down, right? So Medvedev said, if you give those Tomahawks to Ukraine, it's going to end badly for everyone, especially you, Donald Trump. I mean, first of all, thank you, Dmitry Medvedev, because you may have just guaranteed that Donald Trump is going to give those weapons to Ukraine because you just threatened him personally. Fabulous. Medvedev said it is impossible to distinguish between Tomahawk missiles carrying nuclear weapons and conventional ones after they're launched. How should Russia respond? Exactly, suggesting that Russia should go nuclear. He's saying that because Tomahawk cruise missiles can carry nukes and regular weapons both, maybe Ukraine has nuclear weapons on board, and now we have to have a nuclear war if we see the weapons coming. Except that Ukraine doesn't have nuclear weapons, so why would you think Ukraine has nuclear weapons on board? They don't have nukes. You would know if they had nukes. I mean, you literally would know. It's not like they can build the nukes and get the nuclear material and everything without you knowing it. But he's saying, well, maybe America gave them nuclear weapons. We don't know. Medvedev wrote, one can only hope that, listen, this is why I thank Medvedev. Listen to the next quote from him. This is beautiful in terms of getting Trump to actually provide Ukraine the missiles. One can only hope that this is another empty threat from Donald Trump, like sending nuclear submarines closer to Russia. He was alluding to Trump's statement in August that he had ordered 2 nuclear subs to move closer to Russia in response to what he called highly provocative comments from Medvedev. Trump, a couple times now, has said that he sent nuclear submarines closer to Russia because Medvedev threatened to attack us. He threatened to go to war with us, and Trump was pissed. Medvedev keeps going, Trump lied, he tacoed, he backed down, and now he goes, we can only hope that it's typical Trump, lying and chickening out. So he's not going to give the tomahawks. Again, if you want Trump to provide the weapons, the cruise missiles to Ukraine, make sure to piss him off and accuse him of being weak and vacillating and lying and bluffing. Because that's the best way to get him to do it. So anyway, I don't know that Trump's going to give the cruise missiles, but Medvedev helped a lot, which is good today. New York Times. So New York Times did an interesting story today about how, Russia has been going after Ukraine's energy, basically going after all the oil fields, natural gas, energy production, etc., before the winter because they're trying to make Ukraine freeze over the winter. Ukraine in return has been trying to go after Russia's oil production, and they've done a decent job. Listen to this from the Times. By last month, Ukraine had blown up or damaged refining equipment capable of processing 1.5 million barrels of crude oil per day, or about 20% of Russia's refining capacity. Listen to this. Increasingly severe gasoline shortages have hit multiple regions of Russia and Russian-occupied Ukraine, and the price of gas is up about 40%. Gasoline. The price of gasoline is up about 40% since the beginning of the year. So this year alone, gasoline's up 40% in Russia. Filling stations in Russia have limited purchases to 5 gallons per driver. That's going to be 20 liters, maybe 5 gallons per driver. And in some cases, run out of gasoline entirely, selling only diesel fuel, according to Russia's Izvestia newspaper. This is actually good. I mean, the Russians Ukraine's trying to make the Russian people pay a price so that, it may not end the war, but it makes it harder and harder and harder for the Russians to basically keep prosecuting the war. It's another factor for Putin to have to keep in mind if the Russian people are feeling, what's going on with the war, basically, if they're feeling pain from it. Finally, actually, I wanted to read you this because I think it's kind of cool. So, because Damien didn't know this, I thought you might not know this. Okay, Star Trek. You're all familiar with Star Trek, I'm assuming. There's a Star Trek documentary on Amazon that's actually quite good. And it did not mention this, I don't think, which I'm very surprised. I don't think they mentioned this, although they'd be dumb if they didn't. I don't think they did. But part of Star Trek history is Star Trek would always, we're talking 1960s. Star Trek liked to, Gene Roddenberry, who created it, always wanted it to be, the future. It's about 200 years from now or whatever. And when people don't care anymore about race, religion, gender, whatever. And he made the bridge of the starship a black woman, some white men, of course, a Russian, interestingly, for the 1960s, an Asian man, right? So very interesting. No Latinos. They didn't kind of go there yet. But very diverse for the 1960s, okay? Especially the woman, because the woman, and I was asking Damien about it today. Damien was like, you didn't have lead characters on television in the 1960s, mid-1960s, 1965, 1966, who were black. They didn't exist. There was maybe one or two, and I think Damien, we were looking it up. It wasn't really clear. There weren't that many. So the woman who was the African-American woman on Star Trek on the bridge was Lieutenant Uhura, who's the communications expert, right? Communicator. Nichelle Nichols is the actress, very pretty woman, died finally. I was Googling it. She died, was it 5 years ago? No, maybe. I didn't see whether it was 2019. Anyway, she passed away. There's a really famous story of hers that I pulled up, and I love the story. Damien didn't know it, and Damien knows all this stuff. She was going to quit the show after the first year. because I've watched her do, I'm going to read this to you, but I watched her do interviews where she was like, I sit on the bridge. I don't do anything. Yeah, it's visibility, but she goes like, I'm part of the bridge crew, but the stories are never about me. So listen to this. This was from Wikipedia. Towards the end of the first season, Nichols was offered a role on Broadway, right? Playing in a Broadway musical. Preferring the stage to the television studio, she decided to take the role. Nichols went to Gene Roddenberry's office. Gene Roddenberry is the guy who created Star Trek. Told him that she planned to leave the show and handed him her resignation letter. Unable to convince her to stay, Roddenberry told her to take the weekend off, and if she still felt she should leave, he would give her his blessing. So take the weekend off and think about it. If you come back next week and tell me, okay. That weekend, Nichols attended a banquet organized by the NAACP. NAACP is National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. It is one of the biggest Black, African-American, Black civil rights organizations in America. Might even be the biggest. Might be the biggest, most powerful. NAACP. Very august, very important, okay? She goes to a banquet organized by the NAACP, and she was informed that a fan wanted to meet her, okay? This was her quote. I thought it was a Trekkie, right? Trekkies are people like, I'm a Trekkie, people like big fans of Star Trek. I thought it was a Trekkie. So I said, sure. I looked across the room, and whoever the fan was had to wait because there was Dr. Martin Luther King walking towards me with a big grin on his face. Martin Luther King, I would argue the most famous American civil rights hero of all time, African-American, was assassinated in 1968. This is now 1966. 66, 67. So who's walking towards her but Dr. Martin Luther King walking towards me with a big grin on his face. He reached out to me and said, yes, Miss Nichols, I am your greatest fan. He said that Star Trek was the only show that he and his wife, Coretta, would allow their 3 little children to stay up and watch. She told King about her plans to leave the series because she wanted to take a role that was tied to Broadway. So she told him, I'm glad you like the show, but actually I'm leaving. I just gave notice this weekend. She said, I never got to tell him why, because he said, you cannot. For the first time, this is Martin Luther King, for the first time on television, we will be seen as we should be seen every day, meaning Black people, as we should be seen every day, as intelligent, quality, beautiful people who can sing, dance, and even go to space, who are professors, lawyers. If you leave, that door can be closed because your role is not a Black role and is not a female role. He can fill it with anybody, even an alien. He was saying they could put a guy in there instead, and they certainly don't need to put a Black person in that role instead. And she changed her mind and kept the job and stayed on Star Trek because Martin Luther King told her to keep the job because it was making such a difference for the visibility for African Americans in the 1960s. I just love that story. I think it's such an interesting story. Like I said, Damien didn't know it, and because Damien knows everything. Isn't it a neat story? Yeah. And again, you've got to think mid-1960s, there was like next to nobody on TV who was like a lead character. Around that era, we were Googling, around that era, you had the guy on Hogan's Heroes. One of the prisoners was Black. I'm trying to think, but mid-1960s, mid-1960s, there was almost nobody. Damien said the only one he could think of was a woman who played like a maid on some show, but she was the maid. She wasn't, Damien's a very good friend of mine, but who knows everything, very interesting. Mannix's secretary, exactly, but a secretary, right? Anyway, big deal though. TV was very segregated. There might have been 1 or 2 women. Room 222 was later though, I think. Yeah, I think Room 2. I mentioned Room 222 to Damien too, but I'll bet you that was later. That wasn't 1966. I'll bet you. Anyway, you get the point. And actually, very interesting story too, because it was Lucille Ball. It was Desilu that produced Star Trek and basically gave Star Trek the chance. Nobody wanted it, and Lucille Ball said, "I'll do it." Kind of fascinating on that whole front as well. That Lucy brought us Star Trek. Kind of neat, yeah. Anyway, it was very cool. It was a very cool story. I thought it was neat. All right, I'm going to sit back. We're done with the news. We are done with the news. My sweater's itching my neck a little, though. I like this sweater, but I may have to take this. I know you guys hate it when I wear white because you can't see the comments on TikTok, but it's a little, it's itching my neck a little, and I don't like that. So sorry, you'll have to live. Up, thank you for the butterfly. Oh boy, I love this sweater, but it itches my neck sometimes. Same thing with Mission Impossible. I'll bet you. See when it started. I'll bet you Mission Impossible wasn't 1966 though. There was a lot of stuff later on. There was a lot of stuff at the end of the 60s and then early 70s. But 1966, I don't know about that. Anyway, thank you for the chicken, Jennifer. Anyway. So, let's talk. There you go, 1968. Yep, but that was later. That's not 1966. So, how do they verify the disarmament of Hamas? Don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Especially with all the underground tunnels they've got and everything. That's a very good question. I don't know. Well, they haven't agreed to it, so it's not happening anyway at this point. Yep, Diane Carroll and Julia, 1968. Again, 2 years later. Yeah. Yeah, Geordie and Worf, that's 25 years. That's 30 years later, maybe 25 years later. There we go. Now I can see your comments. There we go. Ghislaine had drama. I don't. Was it the drama I was telling you about, or was there other dramas? Yeah, I remember that too. Like women couldn't get a bank account without their husband's signature. I mean, crazy stuff. Just crazy stuff. It was not the Jeffersons. No, Damien knows the show. He told me about it. Some show I'd never heard of in the 1960s about a maid. Or the maid was black. It wasn't about a maid, but the maid was black. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think Eartha Kitt had a TV show in 1966. We're talking 1966. Bill Cosby, I Spy, 1965. Yeah, I Spy was one of the ones that was mentioned, actually. Yes. That was one of the very first that was mentioned. So, right. Julia was 1968, so that was later. Mod Squad, 68. There you go. I was going to say later. Batman. Oh, I see what you mean. On Batman. Good question as to when Eartha Kitt. That's an interesting question. Hello, dog. When Eartha Kitt appeared on Batman for the first time. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if it was later in the 60s. You know? Let's see that. Let's see. When did Eartha Kitt first appear on Batman? Let's see. Mind you, she wasn't. She was a star for that episode. 1967. There you go. Yeah, 1967. Again, still a big deal. Now, she's not one of the stars of the show, but she was the star of the episode, which is interesting, right? But still, you had a black woman as the star of the episode. Now, villain, but beautiful supervillain, right? So it still was a very powerful role. But it was 1967. It was already a year later, you know? Oh yeah, no, oh my God. We went to see Eartha Kitt. Eartha Kitt was performing at Blues Alley in DC. Again, back in like the mid 1990s, late 1990s, maybe mid 1990s. And I went with a friend, and it was the funniest damn thing. I wonder whether they did it on purpose because, you know, at that point we were probably, 30 years old. So we were cute, young enough at 30. And they sat us, it was like a dinner theater. We didn't get dinner, drinks, but like little tables. So each of you had your own little table with like 2 seats, like a cabaret. And it was cabaret style. And they seated us at one of the few tables right in the very front. Like literally the stage was this little stage and ours is one of the tables. And she spent much of the show talking to us. I don't remember now what, but it was absolutely amazing. She was, doing all the songs and the personality. Oh my God. She was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, that's interesting, Andre. Yeah. Just amazing. So, but a lot of fun. But she had a lot of fun going after us. And she did say, she was like, younger people know me from Batman. And we were like, like, yeah. But she had that little, her little like trilling thing. Mabel was the black maid. That sounds, what show was it, Tom? What was the show? Sidney Poitier got his Oscar in the 62 or 64. Oh, that's good. That's good. She was already getting up. Oh, I think she was. Let me see. I saw Eartha Kitt perform at Blues Alley in Washington, D.C., maybe in the later mid-1990s period. Can you pull up a reference to when she was there and also how old she was at the time? Let's see what ChatGPT says. My wonderful ChatGPT. See, I like this because, again, let's see if it finds it. But this is the kind of stuff that Google doesn't quite do. I call it like compound questions where there's multiple levels to it. Okay. Yeah. It was 1996 or 1999. She would have been 69 or 72. Okay. The 2000s? No, we did not go in the 2000s. No. I don't think we went in the 2000s. It's possible. No. Well, I'm trying to actually, no. No, it would have been, I think it would have been late 90s. Yeah. It could have been 2000s. It could have, 'cause I think of her as later. Honestly, it could have been the later one because, God, I'm trying to think now. No, it wouldn't have been the later ones. It wouldn't have been 2005, 2006. No way. That was right before I moved here to this apartment. No. Yeah, no. It would have, I'm even thinking of it in my head. Yeah, it would have been mid to late 90s. Yep. She's only 69 to 70. She seems so old at the time. That's so funny. I think of her as being old when we saw her perform, but she was 70, give or take. Not that old. Morgan Freeman, 65. Anyway. So very interesting. But oh my God, she was so amazing though. Eartha Kitt, such an amazing performer. William Shatner still showing up and everything. That's funny. Yeah, it's very good. It's called Center Seat. Stupid name, but it's a very good. The documentary on Amazon about Star Trek is excellent, I think. Doug says, "Are we headed for a civil war?" We're headed for martial law. I don't know that we're headed for a civil war yet. Martial law, yes. Civil war, don't know. She spoke French. Yeah, she did speak French. Yeah. I think she may be, am I mixing her up with somebody else? I don't think so. Who basically, they went to France because that's where she was able to have a career in France versus America because she was a black woman. And in France, she was beloved. Yeah. I think I've heard her speak. We may have even spoken French with her. I don't recall, but I remember her speaking French during the show and it was very good. Yeah. Josephine Baker's the one you're right. Thank you, Brad. It was Josephine Baker. I was going to say it was somebody else. Yeah. Josephine Baker. There you go. Well, the French also really like, my experience living in France, there's an affinity for like the older, I don't want to call it the older black culture. I don't know what to call it, but like the singers of that era, in that era when America was a little, they were because I think of their African experience, right? Because French had colonies in Africa. It wasn't strange for them to have like a black star, right? They will also have the black churches come and perform in France, and they love it in Paris, like doing the Negro spirituals. And I remember always seeing signs up for that, and the French people love it. Because again, it's not something they necessarily have in France. It's a very Black American thing. So very interesting. Billie Holiday, yep. Well, they can be more open-minded. I mean, there's parts of France. France has its own issues as well. But but in some ways, on certainly on that stuff, on the African American stuff, they were way more advanced than we were. Yes. Thank you for the October gift, Mel. Keep the gifts coming, guys. We got a little more time here. That's right. No King's protests. Bring your frog costumes, Manana says. Right. October 18th is the big protest. Yes, I'm so happy. I was telling you the mic. I got my new microphone. It works very well. It's actually very cool. You want more? Dog wants more water. 1 second here. All right. A little more water. All right. But yeah, I have been trying to get microphones. The protest, there is a anti-Trump, pro-democracy, pro-America protest happening on Saturday the 18th across the entire country. It's going to be huge. It is going to be huge because the last time they did it a few months ago, it was big. I didn't hear about it. I heard about it like the day before. It's called No Kings, meaning America has no king is the concept. And Sasha is not going, no. It was way bigger than people expected last time. And this time, you're Canadian. Okay, good for you. You picked the right country. But this time I think is going to be huge because of all of this. Absolutely huge. But yes, I'm very excited. I've got a little, like my new microphone for my phone, so that either I'm going to try to go live. I don't know that it's going to work, but I'm going to try to go live. But at the very least, I'll record some stuff. But what's nice is it's got these little, the microphones are very cool. It's not raining. Okay, it's raining a little. Fair enough. It is raining a little. All right. The dog's looking at me. She's like, it's raining out there. But the microphones are so cute because they're little magnets. So you basically, honestly, it looks like a Star Trek thing. So you basically can do that and it holds, which is very cool, right? I love that for the microphone. But they also have got like a little, where is this? Where is this? I put it in its little bag, didn't I? I did put you in your little bag here. Yes, I did. Oh my God, come on. Where's the bag? Here we go. The other thing for the mics, which is actually kind of, it has the windscreen. It has a windscreen if needed. Yep. But it also has, which I thought this was rather brilliant. So in addition to having it on your clothes, because if it's cold, you're wearing a jacket, they gave these little things that are also magnetic. And let me, let me make sure the dog isn't like freaking out. Oh, no, okay. Thought she wouldn't like the rain. She's fine. You take the magnet off there. These are magnetic too. So you just you put the microphone there, and now the microphone just hangs around your neck. Which I thought was actually, first of all, it's kind of cool. I mean, like, I would wear this. If it were summertime, I would freaking wear this. I think it looks kind of cool. Doesn't it look kind of cool? I think it looks kind of neat, doesn't it? Like a monk. I just think it looks cool, right? But it's the microphone. And it looks like a necklace. It's very Trekkie. I know my little like, but it also has the little fuzzy thing to cover for the wind. And, actually this shouldn't be too far down. I think I can probably do this. Like basically if it's cold out, you wear it over a jacket. But the quality, it looks very cool. And the quality is very good. But I also think like just very smartly done. It's got a little carrying case that charges the microphones and stuff, which is nice. I love this stuff. I am a dork on this stuff. Yeah. I totally admit that. So yeah, but the quality I tested, I didn't test it outside yet. I tested it inside and I was like, holy shit. I can try to put it on TikTok. I can try on TikTok. The rest of you is going to be too hard to do. I don't know if I can try for fun. Let's see. The only problem is TikTok. Here, I'm unplugging my good microphone. So now TikTok, you're just listening to me on there. Let's try this. Let's try this for fun. All right, TikTok. The only problem with TikTok is there we go. Is that on? I don't know. Hang on a second, TikTok. Oop, hello. I don't know if this is going, I don't know if it's in far enough to sync. I have to be able to see the thing around my neck to see if it's blue. Oh, it's not paired yet. Not paired yet. Hang on. Nope, nothing yet here. Actually, I think it may be because it's in the case. That's one problem right there. Oh, wait, let me try to hit this button to pair it. 1 second, guys. Oops. Hey, it's confusing me because it's two different. I can't tell which side is which. Wait, is that it? Wrong one. It's this one. Okay, there we go. I think I need to take it out of its case. Yeah, let me try something. All right, 1 second. See, now you got me wanting to try this out. Sorry, everybody else. All right, let's try this. I think because, there we go, because my iPad was in a, there we go. The iPad was in a case. All right, now it's syncing. Okay, now it's synced. I don't know if the TikTok, so TikTok now, can you guys hear me? Okay, so now if I'm talking, whatever, this is my normal voice, although I'm loud. I don't know. Now it may already have the sound, the anti-noise thing might be turned on already. I don't. Now let me click this and see, because I think the anti-noise thing is already on. I don't know if it can be turned off or if it matters. Oh, hello. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. A little loud. Yeah, well, if it's loud, it's loud. I don't think I can adjust the loudness, actually. In any case, it's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. So we will do the goat in a minute, Cheryl. Yeah, it's good. But the thing now versus my regular mic. Now, how did that sound versus, well, again, now I'll take it out. Okay. How does that sound? Well, that's just the, I took it off and forgot I had the magnet on it. See, this is the problem is, I forget that I've got the magnet underneath, and now I've got the magnet under my shirt running down. Oops, there we go. Oh, almost lost that one. But yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, it's a good, at least from when I tested it on my thank you for the gift. When I tested it on my phone, it was very good. I mean, you're right, because honestly, that's what you're right. I'm gonna pull it off. I'm going to do that. You're right. Outside. I'm going to literally pull it off and forget that there's the magnet underneath. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm going to have to wear it on the thing. But yeah, it's very good. I'm very happy. So, okay. See, Andre, salut. Now the only thing is, like I said, how does that, well, I'm going to guess this microphone is better. It should be better than that microphone. This is my good mic now. I mean, this is a, $400, $500 microphone, but the other one does sound good. Yeah. I to me at least sounded, the big one's better. Okay. But that little one though sounded very good, which I was very surprised. It was a good sound. Yeah. Yeah. So, but well, we'll see. I mean, I have to test it outside and see how it sounds too. Just do some tests. But, that's right. I knew it was Thanksgiving was happening sometime soon in Canada. It's now. I thought it was Thanksgiving was like the beginning of the month or something, like October 4th or something, or October 1st or something. Does it change? Isn't it like often at the beginning of October, or does it change based on the whatever? Yeah, the big mic is a Shure. It's a nice mic. You know what I mean? This is my nice Shure mic. So it better be nice. Second Monday. Okay. But still, that puts you relatively far back if it's second Monday. Okay. Anyway, but yes, I'll put this back on my iPad when we're done, so I don't forget. But anyway, yes, I'm very excited. I'm going to put this away now. I'm liking my microphone, making me very, very happy. So, but you're right. That was a good lesson right there. When I'm outside, I am going to put it on the necklace because clearly it wants to fall. The microphone is, the brand, I believe, is Hollyland? Oh, Hollyland. Hollyview might be I don't know if Hollyview is, oh no, here's the mic. The Lark M2 by Hollyland. It's quite good. It's not cheap, but it's not terrible. It's between 70 and 90, depending when, and also depending which one you get. I got the combo one. It's a little confusing. The combo one because you can use it on an iPad, a computer, or a phone, which I kind of preferred because I was like, okay, I'm generally not using a computer. But if I travel, maybe I will. I'm generally not using it on the iPad. But if I travel, maybe I will. Right. So there. A little bit annoying on the iPad though, because it goes on the bottom of the iPad, which is a design flaw with the iPad. If you don't have a stand, you're screwed because you can't, it's coming out of the bottom of the iPad. So that is something I've noticed over time. That's been a little annoying. But like I said, I thought the quality was pretty bad on all the other ones I've tried. On this, I thought the quality was quite good. So, oops, now I'm trying to put this away and close this up. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. I'm trying to close this. There we go. There we go. I tried turning the iPad upside down. TikTok doesn't accept it. It works upside down in general. The iPad does. Everything turns upside. Everything goes right side up. And then when you launch the TikTok app, you're upside down. So for whatever reason, TikTok, God bless our TikTok overlords. It doesn't work upside down, which is annoying. But what do you do? Oh, so we had a goat. Who was the goat? I'm sorry. I was in the middle of it and I didn't want to screw it up. Who had the Galaxy? Thank you for that. Anybody remember? Are you still here? It was a woman. I remember that. Cheryl, was it you? Okay. Halloween goat. Halloween goat. One more. I was telling some people about this today, and they were some other TikTok people, and they were like, "A screaming Halloween goat?" I said, "Oh yes." I said, "It's pretty fabulous." They were like, "Really?" I said, "Oh yeah, screaming Halloween goat. Doesn't get much better than that." Anyway, I need to make some desserts too. Anyway, but yes, I'm out of desserts. I need to make something. It's like I can make my brownies. They're pretty quick to make. Maybe I'll make them. I don't really want to make cookies because the cookies are more fattening. The cookies are good, but they're more fattening. But I need something. I mean, I did buy some little baby Snickers for Halloween. They're a little sweet. It's funny. They're a little I like them, but they're a little sweet. Actually, it might also be the baby Snickers. They may be sweeter than the full Snickers, possibly. No news on the TikTok sale. No, there was a weird thing about Barron Trump today, but it was some idiot who used to work in the White House. It wasn't a real news story. I do not have tiny marshmallows now. No. So, but yeah, exactly, Gunther. I know. It lets you rotate to either side. Not on my. I don't think. Let's see. No, see, I'm sideways now with you guys, right? When I do this, I'm totally. Actually, it's got me upside down. Wait. It turns me totally upside down. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I'm only turning it a quarter, and it's turning me upside down. If I go here, yeah, see, look at it. It flips it though. Oh, wait, what the hell's that? Wait. Oh, if I do this and then go back, now I'm sideways. Okay, now I'm sideways, but I can't see your writing. Your guys' writing is all sideways. Yeah, that's just too confusing. Now it's like, bleh. That's a little too confusing. Yeah. I don't think you can. I mean, what I was trying to see is if I could turn the iPad upside down and have TikTok treat my video correctly. Doesn't seem to seasickness. It doesn't seem to treat it anyway, unfortunately. Oh, well. All right, guys, it's 7:22. I think we're going to go. Good to see everybody back again after our latest snafu. Snicker apple salad. Oh, 5 apples, bag of mini Snickers, 1 sour cream, 1 Cool Whip. Oh, that's interesting. And what do you just chop up the Snickers? Oh, that sounds good. Sour cream, apple sour cream Cool Whip, and then chopped Snickers. Oh, that sounds good. Interesting. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to do that. That is more fattening probably with the sour cream, but it does sound good. Anyway, I'm glad I'm back too, Bowie. All right, guys. I am going to thank you, Joe. Nice to meet you too. That does. I would absolutely try it. I just don't want to try it for myself and have like a huge thing. Although I guess you could always make a single serving with an apple. That I would consider. Not that I want a big thing of Cool Whip, but that's true. Sasha hates the rain. Loathes the rain. She's back in her little bed under my table here. Thank you, Brader. Appreciate that. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. We'll see you all tomorrow, Monday to Friday, 6:00 Eastern. We will be here talking about the latest news, hanging out, talking Star Trek and food as always. All right, guys, have a good night. All right, I'm going to Discord. We'll start with you all. Oh, still got a good Discord crowd. All right, see you guys. All right. All right. YouTube, same thing. Bye-bye. All right, and then TikTok.